All right, guys, we're on day 3, and this is the warm-up for day 3. It says, write the equation of a line that passes through the points 4, -1, and 10, -16. And you might be saying, why are we doing some geometry? Because in geometry or in Algebra 1, we wrote equations of lines, and this unit has nothing to do with the equations of lines. But remember, arithmetic sequences follow linear or model linear functions. And so in today's lesson, we're going to be given 2 terms. Okay. In fact, we could use this information kind of like 2 terms. What this would mean is that the 4th term is -1 and that the 10th term is -16. And so if they give us 2 terms that are not consecutive, we won't be able to figure out the difference. However, if we remember that arithmetic sequences model linear functions and that the slope of a linear function models or resembles the common difference, we can kind of use what we know and apply it to what we're doing now, okay? And so if you remember back from geometry or algebra that, or even this year when we did average rate of change, that our slope formula, okay, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, we can go ahead and use this information. So we'll go ahead and plug in. Our y value I'm going to put first is -16. So notice I'm starting with this point on top, minus my y value of -1. So be careful that all your negatives are accounted for. And then on the bottom, I have to put 10 first for my x value, minus my other x value of 4. Okay? We'll clean this up a little bit on top. That's the same thing as saying -16 plus 1, which is -15, divided by 10 minus 4, which is 6. And that does reduce because both numbers are divisible by 3. And if we divide them, or we can get a decimal, it's -2.5. And so this is our slope, but really this is our difference, okay, our common difference, okay, that we couldn't tell before because our terms that we had are not consecutive, all right? Because we are writing the equation of a line, we have to make sure that we use the equation of the line, not our arithmetic formula, okay? And what we're going to do now is we're going to figure out the other missing part. We now know the slope, but we don't know what the y-intercept is, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a value of x and y. I'm going to pick this first one. They're a little smaller numbers. And I'm going to go ahead and take the -1, and I'm going to replace the y with the -1 since -1 is a y value. I'm going to use my slope, which is actually my common difference over here, although we're not writing the equation of a sequence. So this actually, it's going to resemble my difference later on in today's lesson, but today for the warm-up is just the slope. Okay? And then my x value, I have to use the 4 since I use the y of -1. Okay? And we're going to leave this a plus b so that we can solve for it. Okay? Do a little multiplication here, -2.5 times 4. Okay? -2.5 times 4 comes out to be -10. And to solve for b, we're going to have to add 10 to the other side. And we're going to be at a b value or a y-intercept of 9. Okay? And now that we have the 2 parts to write our equation of our line, we go back to y equals mx plus b. And we replace the m and we replace the b with what we found. So y equals -2.5 followed by x plus our y-intercept of 9. And there's the equation of our line that passes through those 2 points. And that's something we're going to do today, except we'll be writing the equation of our sequence. And so we'll have to make sure that we use our sequence formula instead of y equals mx plus b. All right, I'll see you guys on day 3 notes.